Part 2. Silver Snow. Guardian Moon. A king without a kingdom. Having parted ways with Edelgard, former students of the Black Eagle House now work alongside the Knights of Saros at Garreg Mach. They begin to create a resistance army strong enough to take on her Imperial forces.
Hello everybody, Ragtag Sagvi here. Welcome to the next episode. In the last episode, we fought off some bandits, and in this episode, let's see what we'll get up to now. After very long loading, here we go. Each unit has grown over the past 5 years. You should check their classes and weapons.
Oh, thank the goddess. I couldn't bear the thought of letting Gerald down by not finding you.
Guess you lucked out. We've been looking everywhere for you, but I see Lady Rhea isn't with you. Damn.
Everyone was real worried about you, Professor.
Seta told us everything. From here on out, you will have our aid.
I am so grateful that everyone is safe. I am sorry things are moving so rapidly, but there is something we must discuss. Come with me. The time has come to make our true stand against the Empire.
Let's all work together.
Our base will be Garreg Mach Monastery. The interior is in less than prime condition, but we should be able to utilize it much the same as we had before.
Surely those Imperial jerks have this place staked out, right? It's a highly strategic location.
It may be an area of importance, but it is far removed from front lines. Considering the burden of transport, it is possible they are not paying too much attention to it.
Nothing escapes the Emperor. There must at least be a spy or two.
Professor, what do you think?
I'm worried about our supplies.
Your concern is valid. However, the town and surrounding hamlets are still present. And though far from abundant, the church still has funds at its disposal.
That's true. Professor, I think we can leave expanding our army to my brother. He was always good at negotiating, and I believe he is best suited to the task.
In that case, I have a request. Please allow my soldiers to join your ranks as well. House Sire already tried taking on the Emperor. As a result, our territory was stolen from us. As a consequence, I do not have many soldiers left to speak of, but those I have are yours to command.
I feel like I should tell you that I've been protecting some kids who lost their parents in the war. They're in the town right now, but maybe we can move them to the monastery? I'm sure they'd be happy to chip in however they can.
Yes, I understand. I will make the necessary arrangements.
I nabbed some valuables from my house. Father is with the Emperor now, so it's not much, but it's yours.
We get 500 G from him. Sweet.
I don't have a thing to contribute. In fact, I'm still in my same old clothes.
I've been wandering on my own for 5 years. I won't go back to that house or my father, that's for sure.
I understand. Leave it to me. No labor is too great if it means saving Fodlan.
Caspar would like to speak with us.
Hey, Professor, something's been bothering me. Remember that suspicious guy I chased after back when I was a student? A knight scolded me for it, but at the time I really thought I was doing the right thing. Now that I've had more experience on the battlefield, though...
I've been looking for you. There isn't much time, so I'll keep this brief. The knights encountered a band of brigands while out marching.
It was hard fought, but we prevailed. Our soldiers are highly trained, but the enemy was formidable, and we weren't expecting combat. There were a number of casualties among our troops.
I pray for their souls.
Much appreciated, but there's a reason I need to bring this to your attention. Do you recall the incident 5 years ago involving a suspicious individual in Garreg Mach? These brigands all bore the same scorpion tattoo that we found on the arm of that man.
Oh no.
I thought that might be of interest to you.
Thank you.
Don't mention it. If you'll excuse me, I need to get back to my duties.
Heck of a coincidence, right? As soon as I mention that suspicious guy, this happens.
It's good to hear that they've finally been dealt with.
But some of the knights died in combat. They died because of what I did 5 years ago. This is my fault. If I'd stayed quiet and tracked the guy down like you said, we would have stopped those brigands sooner, and I wouldn't have blood on my hands.
But he might have harmed the children.
But he probably wouldn't have. Now those knights, they're not coming back. We both know it. This is all my fault.
We now have a bee with him. Raphael wants to speak with us.
Hey, Professor. I think you've been working too much lately. The battle's gonna keep going with or without you, but you're the one doing the most out there. It's real impressive how you can focus on giving orders and fighting. I don't think I could do both in the same battle. I see you running all over the place, even after the battle's over. I just don't want you to wear yourself out.
I will be okay.
Oh yeah? As soon as you say you're fine, that's when it hits you. No offense, Professor, but don't you think some folks might be taking advantage of you? Like when you gave that speech to the troops. That didn't seem like something you wanted to do. I know you gotta follow orders on the battlefield, but you shouldn't have to do things off the battlefield if you don't wanna.
You've done things you didn't want to do?
What do you mean? Like studying? Sure, it's not my favorite thing in the world, but that was to keep my little sis fed. I had good reason for it.
It's the same for me.
The same, huh? I think I get what you mean. You do things you don't want to do for the sake of everyone else. That's real noble of you, Professor. I guess I can't get in your way if you're doing it for the right reasons. Okay then. I'm gonna keep trying to do my best. But now, I'm gonna do it for you. My little sis is important to me. But you're real important too. I always work hard for the people who matter to me. And having more of them in my life just means I gotta work even harder. What do you think?
I think you are important to me too, Raphael.
Really? I wasn't expecting you to say that. You're gonna make me blush. We gotta keep working hard together then. At least until this war's over. I'll work to make sure you don't collapse from exhaustion. You got nothing to worry about, Professor. I've been training non-stop. I got your back, no matter what.
It's Ingrid's birthday. Let's have some ginger.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you. It's a bit hot. Yes.
Training partners. Someone you look up to. Oh, really?
Being here calms my nerves. Oh, but I'll leave if I'm in your way. Wow.
Serve.
It's a bit hot. Are you sure? Quite delicious. What? Is there something on my face? Strength and stamina are necessary for fighting on horseback, as is footwork. How relaxing.
Gift. Let's give you some riding boots.
Is this for me? Thank you. Thank you for the treat. I had such a great time.
So let's explore. And we're already heading into a conversation.
Professor.
With Mercedes. Let's see what she wants.
Do you have a moment, Professor? I need to speak with you. Thank you so much. This is what I wanted to address. This letter from my adoptive father just arrived.
Adopted father?
Oh, have I not mentioned him? He's the reason I first came to the Officers' Academy. He's also the one who dragged me from the church where I was living, just so he could use my crest.
I don't understand.
My crest does not yet belong to a house, so he plans to use it as leverage to marry into the nobility. He's a very greedy man who was a roving merchant before adopting me, but now he's in the capital. This letter says that he's finally arranged to marry me off to a wealthy noble. I know he's just thinking of himself, but can't he see that this isn't a priority when we're at war?
My thoughts exactly.
I don't know what to do about this proposal.
Will you accept?
I can't see any way around it, so I fear that I must. I just don't want to let go of the life that I've made for myself. I know it's not what my heart wants, but I don't have the strength to say no.
What does your heart want?
I believe I've mentioned this before, but I want to work in service of the church. Well, I suppose it doesn't necessarily have to be the church, but I want to help those in need. If I were to marry a noble, I think it would be difficult to realize that dream.
Why can't you why can't you decline? Or decide, I think that's actually.
I've always allowed myself to follow the whims of those above me. I convinced myself that everything in life was at the will of the goddess. I was blind to reality. I believed it was her will to both pull me from the church and guide me to the Officers' Academy. The decision to enter this war was the first time I acted of my own free will. My adoptive father opposed this decision, but I somehow managed to convince him. Still, I couldn't free myself of him completely. This letter is proof of that. It's not that I'm scared of him, but there is something that worries me.
Severing your ties?
I knew you'd understand, Professor. I've sat down to write a reply several times, but I can't muster up the courage or the words. I was hoping you could provide me with the encouragement I need.
You can't just give up on your dreams.
That's a very good point. We're only given one life, so we must do all we can to pursue our happiness. Okay. I think that may have been just the push I was looking for. I'll tell him the truth. That I found a life worth pursuing, and I must decline the proposal. Maybe I should tell him I've fallen for someone else.
Fallen for someone else?
Why, it's you, Professor. Isn't that obvious?
Excuse me?
I'm just teasing. Now I'm off to write this letter and stand my ground. Thank you for your encouragement.
We're now at A with her. So before I roam around the monastery, there's a few things I want to point out. If we go to the roster. Everybody that you recruited during part 1 will be here. This also includes the Ashen Wolves, and any members of the church. As you can see right here. However, you're going to notice something odd. You're going to notice there are 2 people that are absent from your roster. The people that are missing are Ash and Lawrence. They will disappear from your army in part 2, depending on your route. They are the only 2 characters that will temporarily leave your army. Lawrence has been given a reason because he is currently leading the faction that's in the alliance that's sided with the Empire. So obviously he could not be able to keep his promise. Ash, I don't think he's ever given a reason until you actually run into him again. But yeah, they will temporarily leave your army. In Silver Snow, the 2 of them will leave. But in Blue Lions, Ash will stay, but Lawrence will leave. And in Golden Deer, Lawrence will leave and Ash will stay. It's only in the Black Eagles route, if you sided with Edelgard, do the 2 of them don't break off from your army. You can recruit them again later on if you can meet them in the respective chapters they show up in. You can be given an option to recruit them, but you can only recruit them if you recruited them during the academy phase. If you didn't recruit them during the academy phase, they will be unrecruitable during the war phase. But yeah, just know that for the next couple battles, we won't have access to Ash and Lawrence. Which means we can't view any of their supports. Also, all the gear that your characters had on them should still be on them during the war phase, all fully repaired and good to go. Also, I believe if characters didn't reach a certain class or a certain rank in a class, they will automatically class change up to that particular class by default. Like for example, I believe like with Petra, if you didn't make her a thief or a class within that rank where thief is, she will automatically class change into a thief during the war phase.
Thank you so much.
But otherwise, I believe everyone should still remain in their classes if they are either been given a unique class or if they're given a class that's around the class rank that they would automatically class change into or above.
Thanks so much.
Let's spend this episode roaming around the monastery and meet up with everybody. As you can see, their rooms are all the same.
At last, I returned to my domain. My lonely paradise. My realm of exquisite solitude. Huh? Professor? Is that you? You didn't hear that just now, did you?
Hear what?
Right. You didn't? Well, good.
Also new, you can do advanced drills. Every character you can do advanced drills pretty much in skills that they are good at. So if you are lacking behind at certain skills, you can do advanced drills to catch up. Every character can do this now.
Professor.
Since you're technically no longer teaching, you're now training for war.
Professor, I know that we didn't plan to stop at the monastery, but I'm glad we did. I'm happy to be here with everyone again.
Unhappy too.
Right? It's as though we went back in time 5 years. I feel like my old self again.
And also, in case you're wondering, whatever you planted 5 years ago will still be here. Despite it should have been like withered and died at this point, because I doubt anybody were caring for the plants. These are pretty resilient plants. Is there anybody in the... No, there's nobody in the hallway. Now we're going to be seeing a lot of support conversations, especially towards Byleth, because I think most people's A supports should be available. Also, the neat thing is that you get to see everybody's outfit changes. I believe it's only the Academy students that get a new outfit. Pretty much anybody, like any of the faculty, do not get an outfit change whatsoever. It's only the students that get a change in outfit.
Do you have time for a request?
The fish seems skittish lately, and it says that every 5 years, in the wake of the storm, a mystery fish appears and eats up all the other fish in the pond. They call it the big one. I thought it was just legend though. Catch the big one, the mysterious fish of the legend. Alright, so we're gonna be fishing for the big one. Now I believe when you accept this quest, it usually doesn't take very long to find it. There we go, it should be that purple silhouette. The full Landy. Challenging to ensnare, this ancient fish has swum in the waters of Fotland for countless generations.
You've done me a great service.
You got rid of the big one. Now the other fish can rest easy, assuming the fish is rest. Anyway, nice work. Also, you're gonna notice that your banner changes to be the crest of flames in the church route.
It's so good to see you. These days, so many old friends seem to be disappearing. But you're here. It's incredible to see you again after 5 years. I have a feeling your name will go down in history.
Hey, I'd given up on ever seeing you again. Where have you been hiding? Anyway, now that we're reunited in the land of the living, I must fulfill my promise.
Right, the promise.
Right. I promised the captain I'd protect you in his stead, and now I'll make good on my word.
Look who's here.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. You know,
It's such a thrill to be able to greet you like this again. I almost died as well in the battle 5 years ago, but I won't allow any enemies to get into this place again. I promise you that. Even if the Death Knight shows up, I'll be sure to... Well, for now I'll keep training, so I can eventually feel confident that I can stop him.
Brave soul, that one.
Got a favor to ask.
I started a collection that chronicles the history of Fotland, but I'm having trouble getting my hands on anything significant. Honestly, it might be easier to extract the artifact rather than trying to find one for sale.
Hello there.
Let's get some of these.
I think this one, yes. I thank you. This one, yes.
Buy some sweet apples.
This one, yes. I thank you. This one, yes. I thank you. This one, yes. I thank you. This one, yes. This one, yes. I think 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 this one, yes.
Buy everything he has.
Return soon, please.
Hey!
Still fighting off a cough.
You have a good eye. You have a good eye. You have a good. 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 Pleasure to come again.
Now, there's unrest everywhere these days. All of my fellow merchants seem to be endangered. I hope things go back to normal soon. People need more to smile about, aside from my great deals. Hey, how about a favor?
Accept this, a particular trend.
Appreciate it.
Pardon me.
So let's go back to Ferdinand wants to see us, okay?
Take that!
You're fighting more intentionally than usual.
Yes, I am in a hurry. Edelgard claims victory after victory. She never stops. 5 years ago, she ascended the throne and swept away the corrupt nobles, my father included. I always thought I would be the one to unseat him. But she did it instead, with all the ease and indifference of someone cracking an egg. She put my father under house arrest. She stripped House Ire of its power. Rather than accepting a role as her puppet, I left. Now I fight to topple the Empire. The disparity between Edelgard and myself is obvious. She never stops moving forward, single-minded, never wavering. But where does that leave me? Here, flailing about, going nowhere, contributing nothing.
That's not true.
But it is. That is the reality. Not once since our days at the Academy have I exceeded Edelgard's abilities. I saw her as a worthy opponent. She did not even see me as a contender. She did not even consider me at all. As the head of the noble House Ire, I must be able to achieve results. But all my efforts have come to nothing. Results are everything. I have not shown results, so I will be stagnating here forever.
But you have achieved results.
I appreciate your kind words, but you are wrong. I know that I have a massive wall to climb, and I must climb it alone. Even so, may I ask a favor?
Yes.
Professor, please keep an eye on my progress. I would appreciate if you were always by my side, bearing witness to my accomplishments.
You now have a B with Ferdinand. Oh, ran past someone.
Professor, I have a proposal. Why not go beyond the Knights of Saros? Instead, uniting with allies from all across Fodlan to fight for our cause. Looking back, it would have been best to ally with the Kingdom and join forces against the Empire. But now the Kingdom is not exactly, well...
Ooh, they have something here. Grab these items. If I can get past... There we go. I was about to say, how do I get this item if there's an invisible wall here? Boltus wants to see us.
I see. By any means necessary, then. Before the war's end. I'm covered, but just to be safe, I need you to check on my mother and Kupala. Still following me, huh? We have got to work on those manners, pal. Unless you really meant that bit about protecting me.
Kuapa?
That's where my mom was born and raised. I pay a spy money I don't have to keep an eye on the place. Whether I'm above the dirt or below it. It's up to me to make sure my stepmother can't get to my mom.
Would your stepmother really harm her?
No doubt about it. She's been honing her crazy plans lately. All because I've taken to fighting at your side. She thinks I'm making a name for myself before my glorious return to House Albrecht. Being delusional is her sport. There's little advantage to her going after my mom, but she's unpredictable. Gotta stay vigilant.
What's your mother like?
Guess I haven't talked about her. After her and my pop split, she returned home. Where she's from, it's kind of an odd place. You know the folks who live in the mountains of the Alliance? Guessing that's a no. Few do. Imagine a place with no influence to speak of. Nestled in the mountains on the Almyran border. That's Kupala.
People live there?
Well, they're not mountain goats. And it's not like they never interact with the Lords of the Alliance. They're incredibly isolated, though. Even their trade relations are remarkably limited. Doubt that'll change. The land lacks resources worth fighting over. Probably for the best, honestly. Oh, but back to my mom. She was different. An exception to the rule in Kupala. She left the mountains, was rescued by my dad, and fell madly in love with him.
Sounds like destiny.
That goddess of yours is one cruel minx. So if that's the destiny she gave him, wouldn't surprise me a bit. My birth helped matters, but only a little. House Albrecht just wasn't where she belonged. My dad was in a tough spot. He was obligated to marry a fellow noble and produce a fitting heir. Nobody'd want to live out their days where they're utterly unwelcome. So my mom returned to Kupala.
I see.
Then it happened. I was enrolled in the Officers' Academy at Garrick Mach, and everything changed. During my enrollment examination, they discovered that I bear the major crest of Chevalier. My dad decided to resist his family's wishes and make me the head of the house after I graduated. Thing is, the truth of my special crest was kept a secret by decree of the church. He couldn't tell anyone about my prized bloodline, so I was forced to step down as the legitimate heir.
The church hid it?
It was for the best. My crest was inherited from mountain folk who prefer to keep to themselves. Imagine what would happen to Kupala if it got out. We both know it would destroy their way of life.
People would do anything for a rare crest.
Too true. I'm guessing the church thought my crest would cause trouble in Fodlan. But don't get me wrong. No matter what life's thrown at me, I'm no victim. Like I've said, I prefer it this way. I've got to be free. Even if things were different, I'd still choose this life. But I can't let my mother and her people pay the price for keeping peace in Fodlan. Wouldn't be right. All I can do is make a name for myself in battle and secure enough power to protect them. Failure isn't an option.
That was a pretty good heart-to-heart.
Hello there.
Heart-to-heart. I've clearly been playing too much Xenoblade. Support.
I left home without telling my father. Did you know that? I can just imagine my father's face contorted in anger, and the delightful words he must have used to describe me. Kind of a scary image, actually. But regardless, I've put my faith in you, Professor, and I'm hoping I haven't made a big mistake.
Yes.
See what everyone has to say in
I'm more
here.
of a mercenary than a knight these days. I work to get paid. I never was too attached to Fodlan. I was considering leaving soon, but I might change my mind if you're around.
What Samir says there is true. If you did not recruit her during the academy phase, she will be absent in the war phase. You will be unable to recruit her, and she will not be fighting for any army, as it's implied she did leave Fodlan. She's one of the few characters that will go missing if you did not recruit them.
In Lady Rhea's absence, I will follow you. That's what she would want me to do. Know that wherever you might lead us, I'll continue searching for Lady Rhea.
That's fine.
Good, because I will not budge on that point. Welcome back, Professor.
Okay.
Yes, I come from the Empire, but I have no intention of ever returning. This war the Emperor instigated has caused nothing but trouble and pain. I want this war to end. And that's why I'm here, fighting with you.
Yuri wants to see us.
Looks like I've got them all.
Am I interrupting?
Nah, just wrapped up what I was doing. Need something, friend?
Is that what you just wrapped up?
Oh, you mean this? I use it to write down the names of everyone I've lost over the years. We lost a lot of lives back in the war. Some of them were only with me a little while. Some of them were family to me.
Why do you write down their names?
Somewhere along the way, I figured I should record the names of those I've lost. The ones I failed to protect. There's nothing we can do for the dead. Not in this world. Not really, anyway. And it's not like we know what happens after. So writing their names down here, that's all just for me. For the one who's still around. After all, they deserve to be remembered. Even if they're not here to see it. We all shared the same dream. They lost their lives to build that dream. And as their leader, it's on me to remember them, however I can.
That's a heartfelt gesture.
Oh, you think so, do you? And here I thought I was just the heartless villain in your eyes. Well, anyway, make of my notebook what you will. It doesn't matter much to me. If you go before I do, I'll make sure to add you in here as well.
You intend on putting my name in your notebook?
You heard me. I mean, you're not exactly one of my people, per se. At this point, I do have to admit that I can count on you. I kinda get the sense that if I hang around you, that dream I've been grasping for will become all the more real. So, do me a favor and don't go dying on me, okay?
There's no need to worry.
Certainly aren't lacking in confidence, are you? Cat got your tongue. Looks like you want to say something but don't know how.
So much talk of names, and yet I don't know yours.
That again? You don't give up easy, do you? Alright, I'll toss you a bone. My name's not actually my name. But it's the one I'm enrolled with here at the Academy. The one I've hung on to as the adoptee of House Rowe. Come to think of it, the last I heard someone use my real name was... a very long time ago. From my mom. Who knows? Maybe someday I'll tell you. Perhaps if you decide to pursue that dream alongside me, you'll find out.
So that's an interesting trivia there. We learned that Yuri is not his real name. Now, I believe, and my friend Nick would have to, my friend Michael would have to confirm this. I believe if you romance Yuri and get his S in Free Houses, you learn what his real name is. And I think you find out his real name in Free Hopes if you get, I think, through support with Shez, if I remember correctly. Like, I know there are ways to find out his names in both games, and I think those are the ways you find out his real name.
The town I'd been living in came under attack by the Empire's army. My parents were both caught up in the fighting and killed. I've got no home to go back to anymore, so I guess I may as well stay here.
One note. I fear I may not be able to achieve my dream within my lifetime, therefore I must find a worthy successor. Wherever will I locate such a feminine youth? It'll be easier after rebuilding the Officer Academy. There we go. He likes that answer.
I'll keep my voice down. Don't want people thinking I'm vying for attention. But how loud is too loud?
Singing is nice, isn't it? The only thing is, I'd prefer to do it without an audience.
This experience is critical.
This experience is critical. Now look who's here.
Even with the church in shambles, we can still pray. The goddess will surely hear our prayers. But still, I hope the church can return to its former beauty someday.
So here's Marlene. If you did not recruit her during the academy phase, she is also one of the few characters that is absent. I believe it is implied she commits suicide because she's so filled with dread and depression. You also notice that her face looks much happier and she doesn't look as gloomy anymore.
You're here, Professor, along with everyone from our old class. It's like we've gone back in time. When I think that I'll be around you again, all of my sorrows just drift away.
Right? Let's do our best together.
Yes, I'll at least try not to hold anyone back. Let's work together for the common good, like we did 5 years ago.
Let me see. Ooh, Ignaz is somewhere around here.
Well... no.
It's been fixed up quite a bit, but its battle scars aren't so easily erased. To think that a glorious cathedral with a 1,000-year history would end up like this. I'll rebuild this place someday. This cathedral is the symbol of Fodlan. Maybe I should paint a picture of the beautiful cathedral of old. Well, I still remember what it looked like.
Really love his cape that he gets. Oh, we have a conversation here, which is ironically Ignaz.
How incredible. What a striking color. Ah, Professor, look at this stone. Such a brilliant blue. You don't normally find stones like this around here. I ought to grind it down. I wonder if it would still be the same color.
Why would you grind it down?
To make pigment for my art. Good supplies don't come cheap. I prefer to make my own. Blue is especially expensive. How fortunate that I chanced upon this remarkable blueness. Oh, I'm sorry. There I go again, blathering on and on about painting.
Well, it's just a hobby, right?
Oh, yes. But I know that I can get rather caught up in it and, enthusiastic. You know, Professor, no matter how impassioned I become about my art, you never hold it against me. One could argue that I'm better off preparing for our next battle. I am becoming a knight.
Wouldn't you rather become an artist?
Oh, Professor. Please don't say things like that. I gave up on my artistic dreams long ago. To support my family, I will be a knight. That's that.
Will you regret that choice?
No. I know it's the right thing to do. I'll continue with my art as a hobby. I don't think I could ever give it up. When I see something beautiful, I can't suppress the urge to paint it. I don't have a choice. And if my art can bring happiness to even one person, that's good enough for me.
As long as you are sure.
Professor, I have a favor to ask. I'm painting a portrait right now. When it's finished, I'd like to give the piece to you. Would you take it? Perhaps it can bring you a little happiness. That will have made the effort well worth it. Oh, excellent! Is that a promise? Because I'm really going to put my heart in it. That is, I'm going to enjoy partaking in this casual hobby of mine.
Should we get an A with him? Continue exploring the monastery. See anybody in here? Doesn't look like it. Now, in the war phase, you can go up to the 3rd floor. Which is interesting, because here is supposed to be the Archbishop room. Basically, Leia. Yes, Leia from Star Wars. No, Rhea's room. And also here's this area, which we've seen this area in a few supports, but only now can you go up here to visit it. I don't know why they make you wait until the war phase for you to come up here. Like what, did Rhea put a ban on people going up there even though we were clearly up there in a few supports?
With the return of its knights, Garrick Mach is finally coming back to life. The Church of Seiros will follow you from now on. But please do not abandon the search for Lady Rhea.
We'll do whatever it takes to find her.
Thank you. I know the battles ahead will be dire, but we will support you with all our strength. I have something to ask of you.
We're working to acquire more resources and would greatly appreciate your help.
Well done. You have my thanks.
Need that.
Thankfully, it appears the records and equipment I need for my research have not been damaged. I am most curious, though. You say you were asleep for 5 whole years. Incredible. Perhaps this is another effect of your crest. I do look forward to investigating you in greater detail.
We can talk about that.
Wonderful news. I am most excited to begin. We must find the time, of course.
Professor? My professor? You haven't changed a bit. At your age, I'd expect your whole demeanor to have changed greatly over 5 years. Though, I suppose I haven't changed either, right? Thank you for noticing, by the way. Ah, just the 2 of us, forever young. Oh, let me have my fun.
See, is there anybody? Yep, there's a few people over here at the library.
I don't know anything about rebuilding, but I can sure do my best to clean up the mess. I'm gonna keep Lady Rhea's room spotless, so she can use it right away whenever she gets back. You gotta find her, Professor. You just gotta.
Professor, I've grown weary and impatient. These past 5 years, my hands have been bound. But now, I can finally take action with a clear goal. I'm grateful to you and to everyone.
And that goal
Down
is?
with the Empire. Surely peace will soon follow if the Empire is overthrown. Then my parents can finally find peace themselves.
See anybody else in here? I think I saw Linhart.
Professor, the promise was made 5 years ago. But I must say I'm rather impressed by how many of us managed to make it. Personally, I only showed up because I hope to see you again, Professor. I've been with my family in the Empire until recently. I admit to feeling a little guilty betraying Her Majesty, but only a little. Now that we're all together again, I suppose the fighting will begin soon.
Love that up close shot of the chest. I don't know why the camera did that.
Oh, yeah.
But also, another thing has changed in this area.
Well...
First off, we check in here. Ferdinand's in
I have
here.
lost my dominion. My nobility may seem like nothing more than a title, but I will never lose my noble heart. I will stop Edelgard, even if it costs me my life. I have turned my blade against her now. I cannot go back on that decision. Professor, do you think I chose the wrong path?
Not at all.
All right.
But in here, you now have access to this room. You didn't have access to this room before the war phase, and characters will sometimes hang out in this room, so it's worth coming to check it out.
Hey, you.
Come on, open the doors. Nice. Available travelers. Let's choose constants. Local specialties. Send off. Ooh, super plush sword. Yeah, I'll buy that. Number steel. What do you two have? Master Seal, yes please. And another Master Seal. See anybody hanging out in the classrooms? Yes.
Edelgard is controlling the Empire. She is putting the pressure on the Kingdom in alliance. Empire and religion are at open war. It will be difficult for us at first, but corrupt nobles are many. That means the common people will rebel and be joining our side. With you, Professor, the battle tides will turn. I have certainty.
Interesting views. Nobody in here. Nobody in here.
Professor.
But Lysithia wants to see us.
Thank you for helping me with my training again today, Professor. I'm gonna keep at it for a while longer, so you go on ahead.
You should get some rest.
I can't. Not when I'm right on the cusp of using my power to greater potential. Surely you yourself are tired. Just don't worry about me, okay? I'm sorry, Professor. It was careless of me to continue, despite how fatigued I clearly was. I probably should have listened to you. Now I've made a mess of things. I can't help but feel the need to rush in all things constantly. You get that way when you realize you haven't got much time.
What do you mean?
18 years ago, House Ordelia was involved in a civil conflict within the Empire. All we did was respond to a call for aid. We weren't involved politically. But once the rebellion was crushed, my family was held responsible for the aid we gave, and the Empire gained some sway over us as a result. At the time, the noble houses of the Alliance took a passive stance. No one lent aid to my family. As a result, some key officials within the family were killed, and people from the Empire were sent to replace them. Among those people were some mysterious mages. They were unsettling, in a word. Skin pale as death. One after another, they captured and imprisoned the children of our household. They began performing terrible rituals on the children, though it's probably more accurate to call them experiments. With the Empire monitoring our every move, my parents could do nothing but watch in horror as all of this unfolded. One after another, the children died, till the only one left was me. You know, my hair wasn't always this color. During their experiments, they'd been doing things with my blood. One morning, I awoke like this. A shock of white hair, all trace of pigment gone. Upon seeing me, the mages were delighted. They realized that their experiments had finally succeeded. Sure enough, they ran a test and saw that two crests coexisted within me. Losing pigment from my hair wasn't the only loss. The mages informed me that my lifespan was now greatly shortened. 5 more years at most, perhaps less.
How awful.
Shortly thereafter, the mages lost interest in me, and we never saw them in the Ordelia household again. Since all that, our family has been in decline. It's challenging now even to govern our territory. After all my mother and father have suffered, I at least want them to have peace as they grow older. That is all I wish for, but I haven't much time to ensure it comes to pass.
It's too soon to give up.
It's not like what's been done to me can be undone.
Let's try to find a way to undo it.
Professor, the only way I can conceive of would be to remove my crest somehow. But I don't know if that's even remotely possible. Even if it were, I wouldn't be of much use to you and the others without my crest.
We'll find a way.
You sound resolved. I'll allow your resolve to bolster my own. Thank you, Professor.
Let's continue running around. I'll probably save activities in the kitchen for when we've done all the supports.
Professor! Hey, Professor! You won't believe what happened. I figured I couldn't go back to the Empire after Garrick Mach fell, so I started drifting across the Kingdom and Alliance. Then, I just happened to run into our old class, so we came back to the monastery together.
There's someone over here.
Fighting alongside you and everyone else is a dream come true, Professor. And don't worry about my little sis. Right now, she's back home helping out with the family business. I kind of figured I was going to be stuck going back and taking over for her. But thanks to you guys, I get to work on my dream of becoming a proper knight.
Anybody in here? Doesn't look like it.
I need a favor.
Some soldiers stationed at Fulton's Lockwood abandoned their posts. They weren't what you would call upstanding folks. It would be a real headache for us if they become bandits and start wreaking havoc in towns.
I could use...
Recently, pirates have been raiding coastal towns in the Stang region. People say they are attacking innocent civilians and sinking merchant ships. Think you could do something about that?
Huh?
Members of the Knights tell me that Father left their ranks 5 years ago. They say he announced he was returning to the kingdom, but nobody's heard from him since. I haven't received word that he went back home to Mother. Where could he be? Where are you, Father?
Professor?
During his search for her grace, the Archbishop, Seteth has visited churches all across the land. It served to demonstrate to the devout across Fodlan that the Church of Seros is still going strong. As a result, the faithful are not currently in a state of chaos.
Right, let's head over to the arena.
A country with no king has no future. That's why I made my way here. Professor, don't let me down.
Country with no king?
You'll understand soon enough.
Advanced Sword Tournament. Let's have Felix take... no, we'll do Petra.
To survive, I will win!
Not for myself, for everyone.
Nice.
Witness frigid pride!
Quarterfinals.
With all of my might! My heart burns with pride.
Heal up.
With all of my might!
Spinning Death.
Witness frigid pride!
Time for the finals.
I fight for justice's name.
Right.
It's not just for my village that I'm fighting alongside you here, you know. It's also that Captain Gerald asked me, his first and greatest apprentice, to look out for you. Of course, it wouldn't be enough just to keep you alive. It's my duty to make sure you win, too. So do your best, Professor, and count on me to watch your back.
Nice, Leone. Now we'll head to the sauna, then go into the abyss, and then we'll end the episode. See, let's work on you. Increased theme should do. Okay, now let's head down into Abyss.
Whoa! Hey you, listen up. I've got something to report. It's you. You're still alive. It's been 5 whole years, hasn't it? Time flies when you're standing guard. That's right, I've been here the whole time. Day in and day out. Not like I have anywhere else to be. Looks like the Knights of Seros have returned. I wonder if Mr. Backup is back too.
A lot of folks cleared out once the fighting started. People are saying it was the church that used to keep order around here. But it's Yuri who's saving us from complete chaos.
Alright, so everyone in Abyss seems alright. I believe here we can get at some more facilities. We can summon the Wayseer. And organize the Shadow Library.
See you again soon.
So the Shadow Library, I believe, is up here. This will add a few more books. We'll check them out at another time, but they're interesting books to say nonetheless.
Oh, you have the look of someone relieved to see me. Before you ask, yes, my superior spellcraft is yours. It's your reward for waiting so patiently for me.
It would help me a lot.
Quick acceptance of the truth is gratifying. But my assistance has a price. I expect you to aid me in fulfilling my dream of restoring House Nouvelle.
I haven't unlocked the Wayseer yet, even though I paid for her? What?
Come on. You're back finally. I've been waiting for so long. I thought you might have died. But I didn't have anywhere else to go, so I stayed here.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
I'll think about forgiving you. I've been kinda lonely. As you might have noticed, we've lost a few people down here. I could use your help.
Requests? Oh, right, I have to complete a request to get them. Seek out the Wayseer in Abyss. Perhaps she can offer insight in getting to know your allies. A fortune teller recently set up shop in Abyss. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, why not stop by? We'll do that another time.
Well, hello. It's been a while, hasn't it? Are you really so surprised to see me here? I flew here just as soon as I heard you were alive. I care more than you may realize.
There's so much to be done. Let's work together.
Yes. Let's. So long as our efforts are aligned, I'll happily work alongside you.
And up here should be Bofus.
These past 5 years have been so chaotic, even the bounty hunters backed off. I kinda miss the chase. I don't have family ties worth fighting for, so these muscles are up for grabs. Use me as you see fit, pal.
I'm counting on you.
You're a smart one. Just point me at a problem and I'll smash it up for you. If you're worried my skills have dulled from disuse, think again. I've been fighting thieves to stay sharp. Got a favor to ask.
Some villagers near Frontland Throat have been having trouble with thieves lately. Host has asked for help dealing with the problem. You mind coming along? Okay, and with that, I think we'll end the episode here. In the next episode, we'll do a bunch of supports and use up our activities and whatnot. So if you enjoyed this episode, do like the videos, it helps tremendously. subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment down below on your thoughts on this episode, and share the video so that way more people can discover my content and help the channel grow, and I will see you all next time. Later!